What the actual fuck are you doing?
I've given this company plenty of chances that they could potentially make this comeback from the disaster that was the Xbox One reveal. I thought that they could bounce back from this, that Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox at the time, could turn it around. And sure, the acquisitions were a little bit scary, especially considering their past with previous acquisition, Rare included, and having most of their iconic developers and people just gone and having Rare not be able to be the same as before. But I was still kind of hopeful, that they would still bounce back. Hi-Fi Rush being like this amazing game, it made it to my number 1 of last year. Like, they had something good going on. They were cooking for that year. They had something. Sure, okay, Redfall. Okay, Redfall was kind of disasterific, and Starfield didn't make the numbers that it should do, but I was still hopeful. Like, even with those... hopeful. That's a word that, like, I'm starting to lose interest in after what happened and after the downfall and closure of 4 companies, 2 of which, if you could believe it or not, like, were amazing developers. I do apologize for the lack of professionalism for this particular video. This is completely unscripted, and I'm just talking out of my mind on what I feel, This is definitely the first, aside from all the reaction videos that I'm making, and I don't think it's going to be the last one. I would like to figure out this formula once again to see if I could talk about something else, maybe a lot more positive in the light, like maybe the Switch 2, like I could talk about that, but right now this is the topic that I want to discuss and find a solution to, if there is any possibility or if there's any hope left for Xbox. So recently, Microsoft Studios has closed down 4 key developers, 2 of which, Arcane Austin and Tangleworks Studios. They have made countless of fantastic games, and not counting Redfall, of course, like, which I'll get to that when we get to Arcane Studios and what their closure studios. Sorry, I need to correct myself. Not Arcane Studios entirely. Half of Arcane is Arcane Austin, and the other half is Arcane Lion. Lion is still currently within Microsoft branches, at least until they're eventually closed down to, like, who knows what's gonna happen with Microsoft now. Arcane Austin is the ones that created games like Prey and Dishonored, one of which, Dishonored, was actually one of my favorite games that came out of that year. I don't think I played it during a launch time, but it was an amazing distraction from the Thieves reboot that didn't sell or perceive well. So I did have history with Arcane Austin beforehand, and they have made amazing games before. Even if you want to branch out to the Arcane Studios, I recently played Deathloop, and that was an amazing experience. It's just that Redfall was kind of a little bit of an iffy, because I felt like that was like the perfect excuse to shut them down because of one bad game. But that still didn't explain Tangleworks, who created Hi-Fi Rush, one of the most critically acclaimed games of that year, in a sea of 2023 games that were amazing. And they still closed it down. They're only Japanese developers, which Microsoft was pushing for, and it's gone. For me personally, that one hurts the most because Tangleworks specifically has proven to make amazing games. They made Tokyo Ghostwire. They made the Evil Within series. They've made even their previous catalog with Shinmi Mikami and Devil May Cry and Okami. It's like, these people have been proven to make successful games, and they've proven it within your studios, Microsoft, but no, just bye, be gone. Like, you're not Call of Duty numbers, I guess, so you. This was their sleeved ace in the poker table, and all they did was burn the fucking card. Now, I'm no expert in what it comes to marketing or bigwig CEO development conferences or whatever. I'm just a casual consumer that enjoys the Xbox brand. I grew up with the series since the 360 era, and I stuck by them even after, like, the Xbox One, though I didn't purchase one immediately. I still supported it at one point, and even now with the Xbox Series X, I own the system, and I'd argue, like, throughout the years, I probably used it more than my PS5. But with this and the recent layoffs that they did from not just those 4 studios, but from the 1900 layoffs that they did last year. Or sorry, I'm not even sure if it was last year. I think it was also this year as well. I don't know, but the fact that they're still laying off people is just depressing. What's to say that any of the Activision developers that they just recently purchased, like Treyarch or, okay, not Toys for Bobs, they thankfully I think recently got out of the Microsoft ecosphere before everything started to become shit. This made me lose hope in the Xbox brand, and I think they probably know it. They've been recently going third party too. It's just, I don't think Microsoft themselves has faith in the Xbox brand. It's basically just Microsoft bigwigs and Xbox what? They're rumored to have a new system for the next generation, but with the closure of their physical live medium division, there's just so many receipts, so many reasons to get off the Xbox ship, and this is coming from someone who grew up with the brand. Not exclusively, mind you, sure, I do enjoy Nintendo games and Sony games, but for me, Microsoft was the underdog. They were the ones that entered the market in 2001, after the fall of Sega, and started to gain momentum, you know? They're the ones that they can prove themselves, hey, we are a new dog in the family, and we deserve some love too. And now that new dog is I don't know, sterile or something. I'm not even sure why this is even happening to begin with. We just know that it happened, and Microsoft is being silent about it. What's the reasoning behind it? It's I've seen articles and videos from other reporters that they wanted games like Hi-Fi Rush. They wanted more smaller based games that are successful and win game awards. And you shut down the one company that is making that? I don't know if there's any diehard Xbox fans willing enough to suck the dick off of Microsoft who, after this news, if you're still adamant that Xbox could still do no wrong, then give me your reasoning. Honestly, it's time to jump ship, and I've given up on the Xbox brand. And that's not to say that I'm gonna sell off my consoles or my collection or anything. I'm still keep them. I have value because those memories, and I want to revisit those memories. The Xbox games, the consoles that I do enjoy, I still enjoy them. Xbox Series X has that backwards compatibility. It still has my disc drive that I'm able to play. I'm able to play Fusion Frenzy 1 on that system. That's a launch title, and I'm still able to play that, you know? They still have something to provide for that Sony and Nintendo can't do. But in the future term, what the hell are they gonna do? They have the Game Pass model, which I guess that it's kind of good for us consumers because there's still some amazing games out there. Hi-Fi Rush probably wouldn't have the success it has without it. But at the same time, it might not have also made as much money because those players are mostly Game Pass users and not people that purchase the games themselves. I'm not one of those, by the way. I literally spent 3 different copies of this game. I have it on my Steam library, my Xbox, and now my PlayStation 5 since it was recently released on that system. Hell, if there's gonna be a Switch port anytime soon, which I don't think there's any news of, I would have bought one of that as well. I'm always looking forward to good games, especially with games that I'm very passionate about that I find of most quality. So when the developers are rewarded by a boot to the ass, then, well, what's the point? What's the point of supporting Microsoft or the Xbox brand if it doesn't matter? What are the prerequisites of supporting a studio or supporting the games that you find enjoyable if they could just be off the chopping block because Xbox said so? There's no reasoning behind that, and some sort of reasoning goes by it, then I'm willing to listen. But what kind of reasoning is there aside from just greed and money? Oh, maybe it's because it's not doing Call of Duty numbers or something. Who cares? 3 million units, that's fucking amazing. Capcom is happy to have sold 1 million units for Street Fighter 6, and that's considered a major success. Cut down the cost of the development or something. You don't need to make a AAA experience to make a good game. I guess I'm just tired of the AAA market too, because with all the games that are high budgeted, super realistic, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. I just want a good game. I just want a fun game. If I had to spend money on that fun game, that's fine. Like, if I find it reasonable and I find the quality to be utmost valuable, yes, I will spend money on it. I'm not sure about everyone else, though. I feel like I might be in a different camp, but that's what I at least thought I could do. If I supported those developers, then they would have their jobs still. I don't know, this is just mostly a long-winded, unscripted rant of me complaining about Xbox, but this is my official stance saying that I'm done with the brand. I am done with whatever they had to offer because I have lost trust. I have lost all trust on the Xbox brand. I had a little bit of hope left before all this happened. And what little hope that I had that Microsoft was able to pull through or make a comeback, especially since Sony is not doing any better either. Like, I don't think they're doing as bad as Microsoft, but like with the recent debacle of the Helldiver controversies, like, yeah, Sony's not doing any better. By the way, even though they backtracked on that Helldiver situation, they're still going to pull forward on the Ghost of Tsushima one. Yeah, you know, that game, the game that's gonna be re-released this year, it's still locked behind your PSN profile, and not all the countries that have support for it are able to play the game, you know? I would have bought a copy of Ghost of Tsushima on PC, even though I already own PS4 and PS5 copies of it. But with that news, and I guess I'm not doing that either. Like, at this point, who cares about the video game market? Like, the bigwigs are able to do whatever the hell they want, and then what's the point of supporting it? This is a depressing fucking video for this topic, and I do apologize for bringing anyone down because of this. But this really does need to be stated, and I feel like there's some value for what I had to say as a gamer. So far, Nintendo, I don't think they have like a whole lot of controversies aside from taking down emulators and mods, which they've always been doing, and it sucks that they're still doing that, but they still make good games, so I guess we gotta support them. They're the lesser evil of the big three, so wow, what options do we have? God, the video game market is starting to suck, and while the games are still good, like, process of making those games sounds horrible. Like, I really do feel for the developers and the people behind all of the games that I've loved, enjoyed, and purchased. Like, I'm hoping that they could salvage something out of the efforts and amazing commitment they have to us consumers, that they're able to have a future in this. How are we gonna do that? I really don't know what to do anymore now that this has happened. Like, I mean, I guess I still have some old games I could catch up now. I could probably catch up on the backlogs. Oh my god, that's so depressing. I'm looking forward to Paper Mario. I don't know, is that the last game that I'm gonna purchase? I'm gonna continue supporting Nintendo from there on and screw whatever Xbox has in store, because Senua Sacrifice Blade, like, okay, I just recently canceled my Game Pass subscription, by the way, so I still have it available for at least 3 months, so I guess I had 3 months to play Senua since I still have Game Pass, and afterwards, like, whatever they release afterwards, who cares? Because Xbox surely doesn't.
As bad as the state of our video game industry is going through, I don't think I'm gonna be quitting gaming anytime soon. I still got old games that I'd still love to play. I mean, that's not disappearing anytime soon. I've got an entire collection of video games going on here. I could probably make an entire video about it. While the future for sure is uncertain as to what's going to happen, at least I got the past to deal with. I think me saying that speech during the worst games of 2023 is kind of a sign of the upcoming times and how we should cherish, once again, what we already have instead of what's going to happen. I feel like I definitely was a spoiled gamer considering the amount of games I played last year, so I'm burnt out as to what's going to happen, and I think this is a sign that I should focus more on what becomes of me rather than what I'm going to be. The message I want to give to Microsoft directly, if possible, is all I could just say is good luck. This is a huge, and I mean huge, uphill battle if you're gonna willingly want our trust back. It's without a doubt gonna be hard. But if you could do it, that would be the comeback of the century.
One of the things that was most upsetting both to Xbox gamers and to employees is that, one of the shuttered studios in particular just created a hit game, did really well on Game Pass in terms of engagement, and won a ton of awards. Shouldn't succeeding in that way ensure the future of a studio?
One of the things I really love about the games industry is it's a creative art form. And it means that the situation and what success is for each game and studio is also really unique. Like, there's no one size fits all to it for us.